I'm Lawrence.
I'm Uzair.
We're two university students trying to plan our futures and create success.
Today we're going to be having a discussion on enjoying your college years.
Welcome everyone.
This is Thinking Ahead. I feel like we're a productivity channel, right? So everyone thinks we just talk about being more productive and studying well and stuff. But I also think we are also a lifestyle channel. Like our channel is about making the most out of your time in college in general. Yeah. So that means being productive and working hard. But it also means enjoying yourself. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that about our channel.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that what we do talk a lot about working hard and saving money and all of these things. Like you also have to remember that you do have to enjoy your life. And there's some moments like at the minute where it's been snowing all week in Amsterdam and it's just been so nice. It's like, no, you're not going to get as much work done as you wanted to and you're not going to do as many things, but it's okay because you're enjoying the moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we did skip a few classes this week, and obviously we don't encourage that, but at the same time, we don't feel guilty about those moments because when it's time to work hard, we do work hard when we're required to. But also you need to find a balance where if you just keep working hard all the time and you miss out on all the important moments, that defeats the purpose because our aim is to become happy,
Yeah, exactly.
So the happiness sometimes means, of course, being productive and working hard, but also means enjoying just the fun moments in life,
Yeah, exactly. I think the fun moments are very important in your life as well. It's not just about working hard because like you said, the goal is to be happy. It's not to just work for nothing. The reason most people are working hard is to become happier.
Yeah.
So to miss out them happy moments, it's then irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah, then it's just counterintuitive in some ways.
Exactly.
Because I feel like a lot of people, when they start working harder and becoming super professional and productive, they kind of forget the main goal, why they became that way. It was to organize their lives and to improve their finances so they could spend that money on enjoying their lives more. But I feel like the more they do it, the more it becomes about the money and the more it becomes about being productive rather than being happy. I feel like that's something that people need to remember throughout the journey because then you're not really working towards anything,
Yeah. So what's been happening at the minute in Amsterdam?
I mean, the lake was frozen for the first time in 8 years or something.
Yeah.
That's insane. And Amsterdam gets almost no snow or anything, When we came here, everyone was like, oh, it's not going to snow in Amsterdam. It doesn't snow here. And there was literally a blizzard. It was code red.
Yeah.
And that's insane,
I know, it was, but it was so magical. I think exactly when I came here, one thing that was always a stereotype that you see in the movies is that people skating on the canals in the middle of winter, and then I come here and I'm asking people all the locals, when's it gonna snow, and they're like, no, it never does that, it never does that, it never does that.
Yeah, it was so disappointing.
Yeah, and then it happened, and now it's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it happened because we were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the snow was oh my god, Uzair and Lawrence are here now. It has freeze over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, it was special for me because that was the first time I had seen proper snow in my whole life, And I was really sad because oh, I'm here in Europe now, I want to see the snow. And then it's not going to snow. And then when it finally started snowing, it was so pretty.
Yeah.
I was having a bad week before that, but then it started snowing and I kind of just forgot about all of it for a while,
Yeah, I think so. But it was such an amazing experience,
yeah.
I think. At the minute, the snow's just melted and we've just had the rain. So it's easier to look back and reflect on it. But in the moment, it was so lovely, honestly. We got some amazing pictures, amazing memories.
Yeah.
We watched the sunrise.
Oh my god, that was insane. Do you remember, when it wasn't frozen over, but, the first 2-3 days, we'd go on walks every single day just to see how frozen the lake was?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And it's we took the risk of... Okay, do you want to talk about the ice skates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should actually.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Yeah, so even though it was a very lovely experience, we did also take advantage of the moment as well.
Yeah.
Because we knew, like we said, we were checking every day to see if the lake was freezing over, and then they reported in the news it was going to freeze. So then what we did was we wanted to buy our ice skates, right, ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
But then we came up with the idea that we should, like, when we're not using it, because we still had class, right?
Yeah.
And then we decided that we should rent them as well.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Oh my God. It was literally like, so I feel like this is what we're talking about. So we enjoyed the moment. We definitely went skating and stuff. We had fun in the snow. But we also made sure that we weren't just doing all that and letting all our other responsibilities go away, you know?
Yeah.
So we also like made money. We made sure we did our homework and stuff. But at the same time, we had fun. And some people would only focus on the money, you know? They'd be like, oh, like, this is a whole business. We're completely going to focus on the business. But then they lose the entire moment and not have fun in the ice. And they look back on it and be like, I wish I'd had more fun in the snow, you know? And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are people who only have fun. And then they look back on it and they're like, oh my God, this was such a missed opportunity. It would have been such an amazing, like, business experience, you know?
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know if I don't think I'd mind that though. If it was just a good experience, that would still, to me, that would still be worthwhile. But I think what we did was very, like, we seized the moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think you're right, because we ended up making about 160 euros each,
yeah.
right? And I think if we really wanted to, we could have probably made like 220 euros. But we put ourselves first and we put our experience first. And yes, we did make some money. But the main point was that like we got this amazing experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was priceless. I think.
I swear. And I think just having fun, like it's all about like prioritizing what you need in the moment, you know? So obviously there are going to be weeks where you should prioritize maybe like working academically more over professional stuff. And then there are weeks where you need to prioritize being professional than focusing on your grades and stuff. And then there are weeks like this week where you need to prioritize having fun over the professional and academic stuff. But while you're doing all of that, you should make sure that if you're focusing on one arena, you're not letting the others fall backwards, you know? So it would be bad if we had fun, but we let our grades slip by and like we didn't do any of the homework and stuff. But what we did was we just didn't focus a lot on the grades. We didn't attend the classes, but that did not detrimentally affect our grades at all, you know? So it's all about like doing what you need is like important at the top of the list, but making sure that everything else is still held in balance, you know? Because then you won't feel guilty about having to enjoy that one thing.
The thing is, I think I didn't work that much this week. Like I don't think I did pretty much anything at all. But I think that was okay.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we're both a bit different, right?
Yeah. In reality, I think you did work. I mean, it wasn't like we went out and had fun, but we skipped out on our programming your world assignment. We still ended up doing it because that's important for our grades.
True.
But we did skip a few classes because those classes weren't really as important as like having fun.
Yeah, in the
grand scheme of things, they wouldn't affect you a lot. But that doesn't mean like we'll like skip a test just to have fun, you know?
Yeah.
Because that does affect our grade. So it's all about like not letting any of the things go down the gutter.
Yeah.
But keeping them like not being okay with them not progressing that week, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's all about like progress, right?
Yeah.
So you need to like, you can't have progress in all the arenas all the time.
Yep.
In some arenas, you'll have more progress. And then for the other ones, you kind of need to keep them on hold. But you don't let them drop down, is what I'm trying to say. And then you keep picking and choosing every so often. And that, in the long term, eventually most of them will like go like up, you know? You'll make progress in all of them.
Yeah.
So for me, even if I did enjoy myself, but if like, while I was enjoying myself, I was like regressing in other arenas of my life, you know? Then I wouldn't be able to actually enjoy myself as well. Because then in the back of my head, it'll always be like your grades are dropping now, you know?
Yeah.
You're losing this job opportunity.
So I think we've got a bit of a difference of opinion, right? When it comes to how, like, the extent to which you should enjoy yourself. Like, for me, I would not mind if I had a test this week, but I still went out and, you know, played in the snow because it was such a rare occasion that I think that for me, the test is not that big of a deal in the grand scheme if it was just one small test.
Yeah.
So I would probably skip out on that revision and go and have this chance on the ice, because it's only every 8 years. But for you, would you do something different?
Yeah, so I think there's a difference there, because I often have like a lot of problem over catastrophizing things, where if I would get a bad grade in one test, I'd often like go down this slippery slope and think about like how this bad test is going to affect my GPA, and then it's going to affect my, you know, like my job prospects and all these things. And I feel like that is just something I deal with on a daily basis, and it will just like not make me happy in some way, you know?
Yeah.
So if I didn't have that problem, I wouldn't mind like going and having fun. But I think if I were to have fun while I'm doing this, I actually wouldn't be having fun, because in the back of my head, it's really like really nagging me, and it'll actually make me more unhappy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more happy to have fun, but also make sure that I'm not regressing on any of my other arenas of my life. You know, that's what makes me truly happy. But again, that's the whole point, right? What makes you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I know, I agree with that. It's you're worrying, right, in the back of your mind. I think if there's a worry, then you know,
but I think you are a lot more carefree than me in that regard. So obviously, it would be for you, it'd be more happier to have fun, and then this like you don't have this voice in the back of your head nagging you. You know. So I think it's completely fair if you want to like enjoy and like you skip your tests and stuff, but that's just on me.
Yeah, I guess as well, because also we've got different career prospects. Like me, for instance, I'm very clear that I don't want to work for a company. So then in my head, it's like I don't necessarily need to get a good grade, because I'm then not trying to get a good job to then, you know, make lots of money. Like for me, I'd rather be self-employed and start my own thing.
Yeah.
So then university for me is, a lot of it is just the experience, right? And so then like going and playing in the snow is part of this experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But then for you, obviously, you've got more of a stronger focus on getting the job, right? And
yeah, I mean, for me, it's more about like, I don't know, like excelling in every arena of my life. You know,
mix.
Because I'm like really ambitious in terms of like what I want to achieve in my life. You know, I want to like be like a chairman of a company or like a CEO, and then you think about the people who have done these things. And it's people who like excelled in their studies, excelled in their education, got amazing degrees, you know?
Yeah.
Climbed their way through like the ranks of like companies and stuff, you know? So I think in that regard, I can't slack off, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have that freedom where I just want to like start a company or like start a job.
Yeah.
Where I feel like I could do that, and then like, sure, I could, then my grades wouldn't matter as much. But I feel like in this like competitive world, if I want to like be where I want to be, like every single grade matters in my head.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't let that go.
But then how about when you finish college, or like in the summer holidays, right? Like would you be happy to just spend the whole time like holidaying, or would you?
No, I can't. See, because I said like,
but even without the grades, right?
Even so, but then in the back of my head, I'll always be like, there's this one guy out there, you know, who's during the summer while I'm enjoying myself, he's like working on his like great big idea.
Yeah.
He's working on his idea for a startup.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that. So I won't really be able to enjoy myself, because in the back of my head, again, it'll be like really, I'll be worrying about that person. So it'll actually make me more happy to, of course, have fun during the summer by traveling and stuff, because I want to make the most out of my life, but also working, because in the end, like that balance and like that mixture of things is what makes me truly happy, rather than focusing on only one thing and letting the other go. But it's about difference in like what happiness means to you and what your ambitions are. So what are like your ambitions and like definition of happiness? Maybe tell us more about it.
I think the perspective thing is different, because I think for me, like, I also get happiness from my work, and I think you do as well.
Yeah.
But then I would, like, if I was on holiday, I would still, you know, you can never turn your brain off. So I'm still having ideas, and maybe I'm working on something, but I guess I'd still say that's part of the holiday. But so maybe we both do it, but it's just that I'm saying I'm not calling that work.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't like calling that work, because it's, if I'm calling it work, like in my head I've got that negative connotation with it. I'm just doing something I enjoy.
I think
it's like a hobby.
Maybe it's like a linguistic difference.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you're calling it something else, but you both are actually doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, but I feel like I've noticed that semantical difference actually affects me, because I think you really enjoy work and you don't need as much motivation to work than I do, honestly, because when you do have fun as well, you're also like thinking of ideas, you're also researching about crypto, you're also doing a data science course. But for me, if I think about like having fun, then like all these things go out of my head, and those things don't really bring me a lot of happiness, to be honest. Work for me is like a means to get what I want, to make me happy. The work itself does not make me happy.
Okay.
So I feel like that's why I separate the two things, happiness and work. But I feel like for you, your work brings you happiness, and that's why you don't mind putting both of those things in the same umbrella.
But I think as well, like, you can, even if there's work that you know you have to do, but it doesn't necessarily bring you happiness, doesn't mean there can't be something that brings you happiness but can also be productive. I think, like, they're not two completely separate things.
Yeah.
And just because it doesn't go one way doesn't mean it can't go the other way. Like, I think you can do stuff which you enjoy. Like, you enjoy learning.
Yeah, I do.
So you could do something that you enjoy, like, even if it's just reading books that are helping you on your way, but you could be sitting on the beach in the Bahamas or somewhere reading that book.
That is true.
And then you're still being productive, but that productivity is bringing you enjoyment and it's relaxing.
I agree, but I feel like I have this like drive to like put things into boxes, you know? I don't like gray areas, because that's just me, you know, like my brain likes to be organized. So when I think of work, I only think of work. And then when I think of enjoyment, I think of enjoyment. I don't like to confuse the two things, and I don't like to think of things having a gray area, when I know for sure that there are things in my life that are work but also bring me enjoyment. But I do like to classify them into one thing or another, just for the sake of simplicity in my head, you know?
I mean, what does... But the thing is, like for instance, this whole YouTube thing, like like we enjoy this, like I enjoy this, and I'm enjoying the process. So then, like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it work.
Then I call it like having fun.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something like I often struggle with, because literally on my schedule I do like color code things depending on work enjoyment. So for me, like, YouTube is a lot more about having fun than it is about the work, you know, right now at least. But I feel like at some point when it starts like really like snowballing into something big, where it feels like we have something here, you know, where we like, it's bringing us monetary value, it's bringing us like professional value, that's where I feel like I'll think of it more as work than happiness. So it's about like the tier right now. It's more right now, it's more about having fun with you. Maybe in the future it'll be more about the actual YouTube channel itself.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd ever call it work.
Yeah.
I think for me it's just, I don't know, because I mean, being theoretical, like, even if we got to the point where we had like 100,000 subscribers and we had to employ someone to, I don't know, help manage the videos or whatever, like, in my head, like, I don't know, I guess I don't see a YouTuber as being a job.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like we both we'll both do the same thing.
Yeah.
We'll both work on our YouTube channel in the end. But it's about like what do you think about that YouTube channel? For me, like I said, I have that drive to simply categorize things. Because when things are not in categories in my head, and because of my anxiety and stuff, I do often struggle to work on those things. So before I get to work on anything, I need to answer the question in my head: why am I doing this? What value is this bringing to me? You know?
Yeah.
So that means putting things into boxes. If I don't do that, then I just can't get started on things. I feel like you don't have that problem, where you're okay with that gray area, where you're okay with things just being ambiguous, not having like any value right now in the thing, like not having to see a value before you get started on it. But for me, it's just like, again, it's just like a difference in like how we perceive things and what, like, how different our brain is.
How we approach them.
Yeah, like my brain is different than yours. Like I have like my own problems, and you don't necessarily have those same things going on in your head. But in the end, like, our goal is the same. getting the YouTube channel done,
Yeah.
you know? And of course, like, I agree, we are having fun. And a lot of the things and a lot of the categories that I make in my head are often wrong. But I need those categories in order to get started. Otherwise, I won't be able to get started, you know?
True. And then I know there is like ups and downs of that as well. Because like it brings stability if you can clearly kind of plan your life out.
Yeah.
And especially when you're trying to, you know, for some people as well, trying to start out like planning their life out and becoming more productive. I know for me, for instance, like that like helped a lot. But you're right, like now I'm struggling to even putting my stuff into Google Calendar. It's like, what color is this? I don't know which bit is, how this fits together anymore.
Exactly. And tell us more about like what you're planning on doing this week, right? You're planning on doing some reflection and what your goals and ambitions are. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing now. And it's so funny because I did this before I even came to college. So that was like my planning beforehand, before I could even start doing all these things. I don't think I could have started with YouTube, started with college, started with anything if I hadn't done that planning. But you started with all those things. And now, along the way, you feel like you're doing it. You're like actually going through like the planning process, halfway through the actual process. And I don't think I could ever do that. But that, again, just shows the difference. Tell us more about what you want to like find this week.
I mean, hopefully I'm gonna... Because I am in a process, but I think you do it regularly as well. So like you also did it at the start, but you know, in a couple of months maybe you reassess, because it's almost like making sure you're still on the right track.
Yeah, exactly.
And because I know that I want to be self-employed and I want to start my own company and stuff. So then I think I've strayed a bit from the track, and that's why I'm spending this week trying to realign myself.
Maybe reassess your ideas and plans for the future. But I feel like I'm so comprehensive with it in the first hand that I often I don't think I'll be going through like the entire planning process anytime soon. Obviously, you do make small adjustments here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, I think I do have my plans figured out.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, the whole planning process is not to kind of restrict you in that regard. Like, I know a lot of the plans that I made will not fruition, they won't come through. But having those plans helps me get started on working. Yeah. You know? And I'm completely fine with plans changing in the future. But not having those plans at all, in the hopes that it's going to change in the future, is what I'm not okay with. Yeah. You know?
Like, do you feel like it gives you clarity having them? Well, I guess it's a combination of the plans and the goals.
It is. I need clarity in my head. I need to declutter my brain before I get started with anything at all, you know? Otherwise I just can't. But that's just the way my brain is designed. Yeah. And I really do envy you in that regard, where you feel like, I don't know, where you just you do things and you're a lot more spontaneous and you're a lot more, unplanned and stuff than I am. Where I'm always super pragmatic about things and always very putting things into boxes, because I just can't live my life without plans. Yeah. You know? It keeps me sane, literally. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think we're similar in lots of regards, but then we're different in a lot of regards. But we get to the same goal. I just think that that's the route we take. It's in opposite directions, and then we end up at the same point.
Yeah.
But I feel yeah, because there are parts of me that is very hard to let go. For instance, my competitiveness and seeing a test score. There's just something about seeing something and to me it's like a high score. I need to do well in this.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I'm trying to reassess at the minute, because like I said, I'm telling myself I don't need to get the perfect grade, but just the fact that I see a number out of 100, I want to get that perfect grade. It doesn't matter if this was a test on I don't know, learning your ABCs or it doesn't matter. I want to,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. You just want to get that 100.
Yeah,
you know?
And I'm hard to detach that part of myself.
Yeah, and I appreciate that about you, because you can mold yourself in that way. But I can't just change that part of my personality because it's so ingrained to who I am. All right, then how do we find that balance in our daily life as a college student, in having fun and also being productive? Because I feel like we differ from other productivity gurus and YouTubers in that regard, where it's not all about productivity. It's about making the most out of your life, having fun, So that's what we want to focus on. How do you do it in your daily life? How do you find that balance?
Yeah, I think for me, I've gotta spend some time, like I've got to split it. So I'm in the moment for some of it, but then I'm also thinking about the bigger picture for other parts. And I think you kind of have to go in and out of that, because like I said, so this week I'm spending a lot of time thinking about the bigger picture and where I want to go and what I want to do and what my dreams and ambitions are. But then, for instance, when we were ice skating on the lake, like I was in that moment. I was living that. I was fully aware of everything that was happening.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's a very important skill. You know, being mindful of the moment.
Exactly.
Being in the present, appreciating it. Because if you're always thinking about the big picture, you'd lose out on the individual fun moments of your life. And I think that's a good tip, honestly.
Do you feel like you bounce between the two as well?
I don't think I do as much as I'd like to. I'm trying to learn how to be in the moment a lot more, rather than being planned and being like doing everything in a pragmatic way. But at the same time, while I'm making progress there, so I definitely, when I'm at parties and stuff, I tend to like let go of everything else that's happening and just like not be pragmatic, not think about what I'm doing or saying or what I have to do after I go and stuff. Just have fun in the moment, you know. But I can afford to do that. But that like spontaneity and that like being present in the moment is planned for me. Because like in my day, I'm only allowed to be spontaneous and be present in the moment and have fun if I do everything else in a more pragmatic way.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like I said, I can't completely let go of my inhibitions and completely be like free and do all of those things, because then that just won't make me happy. I have to like have a structure.
But I think that's fine. Like so like you're saying how, like for instance in your schedule you have all your productive things, and then maybe you have it's a Saturday and you have a party at the end, and then you schedule that time that you're in the party.
Yeah, exactly. And I schedule that time there, and when I'm in that moment, I don't care about anything. But it's not like I'm just spontaneous whenever I want to be spontaneous. You know?
It's like you've got the time.
Yeah, it's planned spontaneity is how I like to call it. You know,
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, and often I think some people often struggle with the idea with like, why are you so pragmatic? Why can't you just like have fun in the moment? You know, and I just can't. You know, like that's just the way my brain is designed. But what about you? Like, how do you find? Like, do you often like plan your days and stuff like that, where you get your work done and then you have fun? Do you have like different slots, or do you just like what happens in the moment happens?
I think I try, and the first half of my day is always planned, because there's always things that I've not been able to finish the night before or that need to get done on a deadline. Yeah. So I think the first half of my day is always planned, but then it is more fluid after that, because I know sometimes I'm in a productive mood and sometimes I'm just in a mood where I just want to read a book. Yeah. And sometimes I'm in neither of those moods. And I think I know that I can quite easily, like, it's not until I wake up that I know how my whole day is going to go. And I think as well, because I don't like if I planned a full day of work, but then I don't do the full day of work. Yeah. So it's kind of like, if it happens, it happens. But then if it doesn't, it can go somewhere else. So like it's fluid, but it does have some structure. But I think not as much as the structure that you've got. Yeah.
Okay. It's about a difference. Yeah. But also, have you noticed like the way I do it is like, of course, like the way you said, have the first part of the day like figured out, and then the second part just like more fluid. And I feel like I do it that way as well, where I make sure that I get all my work done before the sun sets, and then after sunset, I usually leave it open for having fun and enjoying and being social with my friends, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I am also that way in that regard, you know?
Do you find that, like, when you're trying to plan out your day, it's quite hard to plan it out in your head, and that's why, like, you're just trying to get it all out on paper, like, write your schedule out. So
exactly. Yeah, no, I do use, like, an online, like, a to-do list maker, like Google Calendars and all of those things, you know, because they are super important in like planning my things out. But I'm okay with, like, again, not those plans mostly not taking place, but I'm completely fine with that. But I still need to plan it before the day. if I want to get anything done at all the day afterwards, you know?
So it's more like a rough guide.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a rough guide. It's mostly not even a rough guide at times.
Yeah.
It's more like just giving me the illusion that I have it all figured out. You know?
Yeah.
Because that tricks my brain into thinking that, yeah, you have it all planned. And then you get started on working. But then when you get started on working, you kind of just like do your own thing and you do it according to what you feel is best, when you feel is best, you know?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that planned out, if your brain didn't think it was planned out, you would never get started at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand.
But do you like often leave like Friday nights and like Tuesday nights just for like having fun? Or is that just me?
I think I do. I mean, the Tuesday night, right, is because we've got, on Wednesdays we have a day off, so it's like a midweek break, so you can have a night out if you wanted to on Tuesday, and then Wednesday you can sleep through it. But
yeah, honestly, I'm so blessed about that.
Yeah.
It's so fun, like just like 2 days into your week, you're just like, oh my god, like
time to rest.
Time to rest.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, but that's actually a good thing. I think that's like a model more universities should follow in the future. I think it's going to become more popular eventually.
Yeah, I think it makes it more productive. It's more spread out. It's not like one block on, one block off.
Yeah, I guess like you just get exhausted. Like you just like you do 2 days, and I feel like nowadays in like the 21st century, our like attention spans are actually very limited. Where like you can't be expected to, like, even the most like ambitious students will kind of lose their drive and like their interest in studying after like 5 days of continuous work.
Yeah.
So shortening that length to like 2 days is actually quite useful.
I think so. I think it's like if your effort was a graph, you know, it starts up here and then through the week it just slowly gets like worn down by attrition.
Yeah, but isn't that like the whole thing about having fun by like making sure that you have like small breaks and of having fun between your productive stints, you know? That's what it's all about, right? It's about like mini retirements in my head. Yeah. You work hard these like 2 days, and then on Wednesday, then you're allowed to have fun and enjoy yourself. And then again you work hard and then you enjoy yourself. Yeah. And then that, like, in the long term, that's what actually helps, rather than just only working and then to enjoy at the end of your work period. Yeah. At a time when you're like 60 or something, you know? That model does not really work out. It just makes you unhappy. If you want to be happy and more productive, you do have to have those small breaks in between. Yeah, and I think it works on every single level. You know, if you look at it from a day, it's having 20-30 minutes of doing something you enjoy. Like for me, for instance, if I'm working really hard, I'll then have lunch and just watch something which is just completely mindless, like South Park or some kind of, you know, just something where it's just like requires zero thought at all. It probably kills a few brain cells. like you do that as well? No, I feel like my attention span is actually quite hard to achieve. So I can't do it like that often, where every few hours or something I'll take a break. Because then if I do that, I'll just like take the whole thing as a break, you know? My motivation is not that high. Yeah. So for me, it's more like 1 or 2 days. So this is like a perfect length for me, you know? Yeah. But I'll just kind of work these 1 or 2 days and I won't really do anything. Or I'll work like 8 hours every day in the morning and then have fun in the night. But I can't do those like small break type things because I just can't change my like brain into different like modes quickly, you know? Oh yeah, I think it's a balance, and it depends on the person. It depends on the person, yeah. And you know, right, like I think Japan is just starting to figure out that it's not all about the work. Yeah. It's all about having fun as well. And they are planning to like try like the 4-day work week in Japan. How are they doing that? I don't know, but I think I heard about how like some companies I think the government has allowed some companies to like try out the 4-day method where you have only 4 days of work and then I think you have a break in the middle, similar to what we have at AUC. Wow. And I feel like they're doing that because Japan is like the country where it is so productive, where it is like so like it seems so fun because they've managed to get all these things done, but they're not really happy and they have like so many problems, you know? Right. And then that's defeating the entire purpose, you know? Yeah. And in the end, it is becoming detrimental to them because they're not having fun. The population is growing older and older. The productivity in 20 years is going to like decline like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's like a real life macro level example of what happens when you only focus on the professional stuff. You only focus on the financial and stuff, and you ignore ignore like the fun moments of your life.
Yeah.
You know. So I think the government is trying to do some damage control in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good example.
No, that is a good example. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it for today, right?
Yeah, I think we went through a lot of things, and I mean, we talked about like from the start and the snow in Amsterdam and enjoying yourself, but also keeping a balance and the way our minds work differently.
Yeah, I think it's just about. I think our episode, what we are trying to say is, do what makes you happy. Our channel often comes across as being professional and being productive, but that's not the main aim of our channel. Our channel is about how to be happy in your life.
Yeah.
And that can mean different things to different people. That being happy might need different approaches for you and for me. You know, it depends on what your brain is, being self-aware of what you require, what makes you happy, and then doing those things. And that often requires, of course, in like different like ratios, having fun and being productive. To different lengths, of course. Like sometimes maybe for you it's a lot more about, you focus more on the fun than the actual having like productive. For me it's about, you need to keep both in mind. You can't let one go. But what we're trying to conclude and say is that at least some fun. You need to have fun, you know? Like that you can't completely be productive. And that's not what the idea that we want to get across to you guys as our viewers is.
And I think as long as you're reaching that end goal, like we've shown, there's 2 different ways you can do it already. There's 100 different ways that you can you can still be happy and do work and be productive.
Exactly.
So I hope this has shown some more realistic ways that we do this. And that we're not like...
Yeah, we're not robots.
Yeah, exactly. We're not robots.
We are happy people. I hope so. Are you happy?
We are happy, yeah.
I just said that and Lawrence is like, no.
Cut the camera, cut the camera.
Alright then guys. We'll see you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.